Welcome everybody to Miguel's Garage. If you are looking to purchase an early model Lamborghini Gallardo, hey, today is your lucky day. I'm gonna be reviewing this car and showing you a lot of the things you should be looking for when you're buying one of these. Now, I've made a very comprehensive video where I show you what to look for when you're buying any car. Signs of wear, imperfections, things that you should look for, and how to check every detail of every car. Make sure that everything is working. I've made one of the most comprehensive checklists you can find on the internet. It is free, and the link to that is included below. Download it. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how to check any car that you're looking to buy. Now, I always also recommend that you get a PPI, a pre-purchase inspection, especially with a higher end vehicle such as this Lamborghini. So go and check out that video that I made where I show you how to look at all the details. But in this video in particular, I'm going to focus on the more costly items that can go wrong with one of these cars. Right, so let's jump right into it. Now, looking into the common issues and problems that you may find when buying one of these cars. And let's start with the outside. This car is an aluminum space frame and aluminum exterior panel, so rust is not going to be an issue. But aluminum is more expensive and harder to work with, so make sure you look around to ensure you have no major dents and dents or structural damage, because that can be very costly to fix. And while we're at here, one minor thing that I want to highlight is the gaskets that go around the mirrors. Sometimes they tend to wear, break, and start to leak into the door, which can affect your door switches and panels on the inside, creating other problems. So sometimes you want to take a look at that. Moving right along into this area, this is another common problem. You might be at a gas station pumping gas, and the car all of a sudden keeps stopping. The pump it keeps filling up very quickly. One of the problems is that the evaporator on these cars gets clogged and doesn't allow the tank to breathe correctly to be able to, allow you to completely fill up the tank without having to stop every 3 seconds. And now let's look into the engine compartment. One of the things that I want to talk to you guys about is the clutches. Replacing a clutch can be quite expensive. Have a dealer check the clutch, as the computer can check for slippage. All 4 models suffered from issues relating to the clutch and the e-gear system, so make sure that the software was also updated. A new clutch kit can typically cost upwards of $3,000 on its own. If you're not doing the job yourself, you have to add in labor. If the car you're looking at has the e-gear system, you want to make sure that you look beyond the clutch. Some of the issues that you may have are the hydraulic lines. Now, fortunately for us, nowadays with the aftermarket, you can find a set of hydraulic lines for about $500 if you're doing the job yourself. If you're not, then you have to account for labor. Now, if your problem is with the actuator on the e-gear system, that is much more costly. An actuator can cost upwards of $5,000 plus labor. I would also like to point out a problem hiding deep down below, and it is the power steering rack and pinion lines. According to Lamborghini, high pressure hoses for the hydraulically assisted power steering system may leak in certain driving situations. Should this occur, a fire could result if the fluid comes into contact with an ignition source. I believe there was actually a recall done for this, and you want to make sure that the car you're looking at had these lines replaced. There could be another gremlin staring right at you, right in this area, and that's the starter motor. When you first start the car, listen closely to the starter motor and ensure that it disengages and stops spinning quickly. If it lingers, that means that potentially your starter is about to die and will need replacing. Next, I want to look into a potentially serious problem that can affect your entire engine. and that is engine sounds, knocking in particular. Gallardos are known for burning a lot of oil, and if a previous owner did not keep up with it, there could be potential damage inside the engine, rendering the engine useless. You have to keep in mind that these cars are made by a very small group of engineers with performance in mind. So these cars generally are built with very small tolerances for neglect. Another problem that I want to highlight in this area is your oil pump drive shaft assembly. Some owners report having issues with early models where the engine either hesitates or comes to a complete stop due to failure of this shaft. Once replaced, the car will operate as normal. You may also want to look for leaks. The rear main seals are prone to leaking, so keep an eye out for leaks under the car. Another issue that happened to early model cars has to do with the dry sump tank. Early models had issues with owners overfilling the dry sump tank. This will cause the engine to smoke at times and can make the car develop driving issues. Now obviously this is a lot better than someone who forgets to check the oil, and it could be easily replaced, but it could also create other issues, so you want to get that checked as well. And lastly, I want to bring your attention to the wheels. Pay close attention to a car with aftermarket wheels. If you change the wheel of the car and you have different diameters front to rear, this can severely damage your differential system, the all-wheel drive system in these cars. That can be a very, very costly repair. So make sure to look for aftermarket wheels or tires in different diameters. If you're serious about buying one of these cars, and even after you buy it, I recommend that you join forums online and clubs. There's the Lamborghini Club of America, and there's also Lamborghini Talk online. I've included the links to both of those below. There are very helpful resources filled with information about these cars. So be sure to check that out. Thank you for watching, guys. If you wanted to see a review of this vehicle where I give you details about its history, check out the link above. I do a full review and drive impressions on this early model Lamborghini. Thank you for watching, and please comment below. If you know of any other issues that should be listed, please put them in the comment. Let's help the community by sharing information and things to look for these models. See you in the next video.